Hi, it's Lori's Positive Thanks Living, and it is the 24th day, Christmas Eve, if you celebrate Christmas. And today I'm going to do a collage, today and tomorrow, about love. I'm going to take a little artistic license as I work in this collaging challenge and use two songs today that represent, to me anyhow, love. One is While Shepherds Watch Their Flocks, and that's about just sitting still where you are. And the other is We Three Kings, and it's They Traverse Afar. Sometimes love is about going, doing, being active. So waiting or being active, they both show love in my heart, in my thoughts. I'm going to use an image cut from a card of some wise men, or we'll just call them wise men for this purpose. Biblically, historically, I don't know. They are called lots of different things, or they're identified as different things. And shepherds with their sheep. So this is a printable. I'll link to the Etsy where I got it from. And I'm going to be using more of this printout images tomorrow when I make my lantern. And I'll tell you more about that later. So the background, I've decided I'm going to use the page that I splattered with white paint. And I know, it probably didn't snow. It's okay. It looks pretty. And I'm just going to use some on both sides. This was yesterday, 23rd. This is 24. I'm going to use a double spread for 24 and a double spread for 25. I have room. See? So 24, I'll use half of each on the page as my background. What I'll do then is just tear it. I'm trying to decide now where to tear. I'm going to tear here. And then I'll tear in half. This paper tears very easily. It's from the 1930s. It's a different type of tear than the books, the images, the book page I have from 1898. But it's still a lot easier than the paper that tears today. Okay, so it'll go on here, the images. And I'm going to be using some gold ink with a star image, and I have a star stamp. But I'm also going to use hearts cut out of cards, old cards. These were from my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, and 1983, however many years that is. I'll let you work out the math in your head. And to me, when you think about the fact that these cards represent, at that time, 50 years of living together as husband and wife, that represents love also. So there's a significance in cutting the hearts out of this paper. And they'll go on to represent stars, love. Here we go. I'm going to just cut a few out. I was hoping that this punch will work. Sometimes punches don't work well for whatever reason. Hooray! 5. There's 5 hearts. There's another heart. And here's some more. Interestingly, I don't have any stamps. I was looking with hearts. So, yeah, that'll be interesting when it turns around to February, when it's a traditional heart kind of month, huh? I also have some vellum stars. This was from chapter 1 pages, so I'm going to put them down, and I tore it out of the strips that they were in, just as a top. Display stars, stars, hearts, hearts. And then I have a little bit of the jute ribbon, twine, I don't know what it is. It's very, you can see what it's made out of. It's not a soft ribbon or a silky ribbon. I'm going to put our wise men on this side, and I'm going to anchor them with this twine, and our shepherds on the other side. So let's take the book away, the journal away, and we'll just work on this part here. First, I'm going to ink the music paper. I also have to figure out how to incorporate the words from the songs, but that's a little bit later on. 24th of December, 2020. I started my journal with a circle stating 2020, a year to remember. Boy, has it ever been. It's not over yet. Historians will be studying, social scientists will be studying this year for decades to come. How we behaved as a populace, where we followed instructions, where we didn't follow instructions. How it affected our relationships, whether our relationships flourished or whether our relationships disintegrated. It's like putting a magnifying glass over what we normally do and taking a much closer look at what's really important to us and what isn't. How do you show love in this time period, in 2020? Huh? Sometimes it's just sitting where you are and waiting. Sometimes it's taking a step, or 2 steps, or 18 steps, or 3 million steps from old behavior to new behavior. I don't know. I'm so thankful for this junk journaling adventure because it's allowed me a chance to reflect as I sat, waiting, just sitting. So it's been a lovely way to sit, to occupy as I sat. Definitely. My husband has demonstrated his love for me consistently by just being there for me, supporting me in this activity, amongst many other things. This is double-sided tape, and the reason I'm using it is because sometimes on vellum, where I've printed with the inkjet printer, the vellum colors change when I put the glitter glue on. And I don't want to risk that at this point. I'm hoping that this is clear when I put it down. If it isn't, that's okay. It's not completely clear. I might stamp over it a bit with the gold ink. Put a few of the hearts on it. "24 out of 25 days of collaging." This has been interesting, hasn't it? Just what choices we've made. Do you have favorites out of what you've done in 24 days? I imagine you would. I do. I have ones that are not my favorite, that's for sure. I don't use this ink very often. I went into a box. This is acid-free Studio G pigment ink. I don't even know what that means. I just know that it's not the usual distress ink. Got a fluff there. I do like the experience of flicking white paint on things. Right, now we're going to put small stars on. So if there's a difference showing love through waiting or showing love through taking action, which are you more likely to do? Are you an action person? You know, must be moving, must take, must do. Or are you a waiting person? Yeah, just hang in there and be patient and wait and be steady. How do you show your love? And I'm sure it's totally according to the situation. I mean, obviously, if someone is in peril, someone that we love is in peril, we would take action immediately. But as a rule, how would you say that you react? I have to say, I am a person that waits. I wait well. I sit well, probably longer than I should. I probably should take action much more quickly than I do. Thinking, I'll put this down. Oh, yes, I need something from each song to represent that. What words would you use? Seated on the ground? Seated? Watched their flocks by night. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that one. All right, let's tear here. watched. Watched their flocks. So that'll represent waiting as love. Let's put this down here. And I'm going to use glue stick on this one because I'm afraid the glitter glue is just going to seep through. Then we'll put our shepherd here. And lastly, we'll add our hearts. Oh. Pardon me. Back again. I'm sure it's happened to you that the phone's rung at a very inopportune moment. Or at least a moment when you're not expecting it to ring. So the hearts that are from my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, from friends. I have specific memories of my grandparents. My grandfather was very much a doer. He was active and earning money and out and being... He was a doer. He came from Germany, what became Eastern Germany later on, as a young man of 18, so leaving home and family as a young man, to Canada, southern Ontario, and that's where he met my grandmother, and she lived up near a town by the name of Hanover in Ontario, and her family had been in Canada since the late 1800s. My grandfather was a doer. My grandmother, she was a person that waited. She was patient. She was deliberate, and she got a lot done. I mean, she had 5 children. You can't be lazy. You know, the waiting is not always lazy. 5 children, you're not lazy. So, represents both my grandparents too, I suppose, if I thought about it that way. The doer and the waiter. Both showed their love in how they behaved. Okay. Now we're going to use Bearing It. We traverse afar. Are you a traveler? Do you enjoy traveling? Or are you a person that is a homebody? Is this time period killing you, having to stay home? I have friends that, they love to travel, taking cruises and exploring. It just is hurting them to stay at home. I like to travel. Couldn't have lived and traveled full time in an RV if I didn't like to travel. But the neat part of it was with our RV, I had my home with me. So I had the best of both worlds. We always slept in our own bed. We had our own dishes and ability to cook, and everything was like home, just a lot smaller. Yeah, we lived in 282 square feet for 5 years, and we remained married, happily married. Very much so. Yeah. We used to joke that our truck that we pulled the fifth wheel with was a part of our house. So we had our recliners in the truck with our picture window. Oh, I don't believe it. I did it again. A few days ago, I glued the wrong side of something. Fortunately, I know this will dry and it won't be a problem. I just have to now glue the other side and wait for this side to dry. Ah, dear. Some days. For my husband's role in life, he's been traveling up until this year quite a bit. It has kind of, this year has put a damper on that traveling. Yeah. And I really enjoy being with him. But being alone is okay too. I'm enough of an introvert that for the time that I'm alone, once he comes home, I'm very happy to see him. And it's fun to interact again and be together. So, love. You are both together and apart. You show love. All right, there we go. And then put the hearts on. Lastly. Oh, come on, stay there. And some hearts on this one. And I have to find a place to put the 24 also. I'm getting quiet. Where should 24 go? Interesting. You'll have to go on this side because it's Santa and his sleigh. There. 24. Sorry, I hear the creaking. Hope it's not bothering you. I'm leaning on my table and it creaks as I lean. Okay, there is our December 24th, one more day, and this collaging challenge will be complete. On the 25th, I'm going to make a lantern. And you'll see how that goes together. Today, it's about love. Showing love when you wait, by waiting, showing love by doing. Sometimes you need both, huh? Make a collage with love as the theme. That's my take on love. Love through doing and love through waiting. It's Lori with Positive Thanks Living. I wish you a wonderful Christmas Eve and all the blessings and all the joy and all the peace